Kids in Manitoba could be banned from using social media and AI chatbots.
They have designed these tools and optimized them to hack our children's reward systems in their brain.
The Premier announced the plans at a fundraising event over the weekend. He said tech companies were making products intentionally addictive and that regulation was needed to protect young people. So to get more on this, I'm joined by CBC's Leanne Young. Leanne, you've been looking into this. What exactly has been announced here?
Well, Sarah, Wabkanu, so Manitoba's premier, he announced during this NDP fundraiser that his government plans on banning social media and AI chatbots for young people, for children and youth. We don't have a lot more details than that. This was during this fundraiser. Reporters didn't really get a chance to ask questions, but today we heard from his education minister, gleaned a little bit more information from her. Now, what she said is that the idea is that they may be rolling this out first to school. So she sees it as similar to the province's cell phone ban. This was put in place about 2 years ago for young people, and this is the next phase of it. And she says there already have been discussions around the NDP caucus in Manitoba, and they've mostly centered around starting the rollout in schools.
As a parent, I think about my kids and what I want them to be learning in schools or what I need help from my government. And that is helping my kids understand what a responsible use is of these sort of technologies. I think there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from other places that have already done this. We're going to be consulting with community over the next days and weeks and months as we roll this out.
So there's still a lot that we don't know. We don't know the age limit that we're talking about, when this might go into effect, and how the province might enforce it. Because if you think about these technologies and apps, they're all backed by these multinational companies. And this is a province that's trying to enact a piece of legislation. And lots of, changes still need to come in the legislation. So we're really early days at this point.
Yeah, and already the federal government and some other provinces have expressed interest in this, saying that they are looking at these kinds of bans. What kind of reaction is this getting?
Well, from the other governments across the country, there's been some positive news. It's mixed for the most part, though. At least, though, here in BC, the Attorney General, though, has said that she's interested in what Manitoba is doing. In fact, she may be reaching out to the Manitoba government to talk to them about their bans. She says that ideally, the federal government is going to tackle a piece of legislation like this, but if the feds don't take it on, BC would be willing to take it on provincially, but she wouldn't be the only one. Manitoba has said they're looking to do this ban, but other provinces like Ontario, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, and Quebec have all said in the past that they're considering some sort of ban. And we've also spoken to Teens Manitoba about it. They're not so wholeheartedly embracing this proposal. Some of them are worried that the teens might be left disconnected, particularly those in more remote areas. Others think that it should apply more so to younger kids and as opposed to, some of the older teens. But advocates, though, across this country who've been pushing for some sort of legislation are really embracing it wholeheartedly. Take a listen.
Anxiety, depression, eating disorders, self-harm, suicidality, low self-worth, loneliness. The list goes on. I didn't even finish it. So if there was any other product that was linked to that many harms to our youth, would we still be saying they need to have this product in their hands?
We still need to use social media for everyday things, to search up things, to find things online.
I've seen people who have used AI chatbots and it's really bad.
Social media helps me really connect with people online.
So if this ban goes into effect, it would be a first in Canada. It does take after a similar ban in Australia. They've been banning social media accounts for kids under the age of 16. It's been in place in December. So this might be the blueprint for what happens in Manitoba. Sarah?
Thanks, Leanne.
You're welcome.
This news comes as a group of parents and children actually went to Parliament Hill today, and they were calling on leaders to urgently pass the Online Safety Act. My next guest was at that rally. I want to bring in Carol Todd. Carol Todd's daughter, Amanda Todd, died by suicide at the age of 15 in 2012 after years of cyberbullying. And since then, Carol has been an advocate for online safety, speaking to us several times. Carol, I appreciate you speaking with us again tonight.
Thanks for having me.
So you're in Ottawa today lobbying the federal officials. What are your thoughts about Premier Wabkanu in Manitoba saying that he's planning to ban youth from social media and AI chatbots? I mean, this conversation, it seems to be building, is my sense.
Yes, it's always been building. It's that social media restriction, and I've watched it in Australia. I've watched both sides, actually, the pros and the cons. And then after spending all day with a group of youth talking about social media restrictions and what they do, these kids are fairly against it for reasons that they also say that a ban would restrict them from being creative and being entrepreneurial, talking to relatives from afar, and many different things. And I can honestly say, and I probably won't get very liked for this, but I believe that there are ways to restrict children and monitor them without putting a full force ban in place, only because how are we going to monitor kids once a ban is in place? And will it restrict our ways of teaching them about online safety? Will they listen after that? And also with social media in Australia, it's only 10 applications. Does not include Roblox, does not include Discord, does not include communication applications. And so there's that disconnect of what really is social media. So
wow, I didn't realize that about Australia, that it doesn't include Roblox or Discord. I have a young child myself, and those are two ones that he's not on, but I know they're very popular, aren't they? So,
for sure, yeah.
Yeah. So Manitoba, I mean, we don't know the details of this ban. There's some suggestion, we were talking, Leanne was saying, some suggestion it might be contained just to at school. What do you think about the fact that Manitoba's feeling it needs to go maybe alone on this, or at least be first on this, because things maybe federally haven't happened fast enough?
Well, I spent the whole day in Ottawa on the Hill, and we were able to get meetings with the Minister Solomon and Minister Miller, the Canadian Heritage, and also the AI ministry. And so they were pretty confident that Online Safety Act would eventually be tabled. What they're doing now is thinking about the different aspects and the different ramifications. And would they, have an e-commissioner for digital oversight? And how are they going to hold the big techs responsible? And what are they going to do if they ban social media? And what are they going to do with the kids who circumvent that? And so there's all these questions that sort of need answering, that need to be thought about more deeply before they table a bill, because once they table it and it passes, then people expect the answers to be there. And I myself, I'm an educator in British Columbia, and I am a coordinator for digital literacy, so online safety. And I talk to teachers all the time, and I talk to parents all the time, and the students, right? And one of the things that we really, really need to do is, I know the reactionary is, social media, get them off, but we really need to be preventative and talk to our kids more about different aspects of technology, different aspects of social media, different aspects about safety and privacy and consent, and ranging into AI. And so we have to keep that as a regular curriculum detail. I'm not sure if all districts do that or all provinces do that. I know my district does it, but those are important aspects. It's like everything else. We don't put a kid in a candy store and say,
right,
go eat all you can. And then with, kids driving a car, we don't give them the car until we make sure that they know how to use it properly. And so that's just like a device. We need to make sure that kids know how to use it properly, and that takes time.
Yeah, no, those are excellent analogies there. I only have time for one more question, and it probably has to be a short answer. But I just want to make sure I understand. Okay. I feel no, but because I feel like maybe what I'm hearing from you is you're a little more nuanced than wanting a ban on social media and AI. Am I right in that?
Yes, you are. And maybe because I come at it as a person who's around young people and looking at the way we have to educate parents, community, and kids alike about privacy and consent, how to use social media, how to use technology. I'm afraid that if there's a complete ban, we will forego all those teachings that we need to teach because we think it's 100% safe for kids under 16.
And you are someone who has, rightfully so, given this a lot of thought. So I appreciate your time tonight. Carol Todd, thank you very much.
Thank you.